Hey, it's me, Erica Rose, and this is my vlog, Winching My Finances. I have been MIA for a couple weeks because some interesting developments have been happening. So let's get into it. Today's story is My Budget by Erica Rose. It was a cold, rainy February 2021, and I set up my budget with high hopes for the month. I wanted to save at least $300. I carefully created a calendar and listed all of my monthly expenses as they would occur on each day. Then, as the month went on, I carefully recorded every transaction as each one occurred under each category. Isn't there a saying about all best laid plans? I feel like whatever it is, it would apply here. It was a well-laid plan, but not one that I could carry out. Mid-month, so there was a meeting on my calendar for work called follow-up. Didn't really think anything of it except that there was no explanation for it, like what we were going to talk about or anything. So that was weird. Turns out it was a meeting with my manager and the HR manager, and they let me go of my job. So yeah, that's a pretty big hit to my whole plan for this year. I got the better job and the better salary, and I was gonna do better with my money and just get on top of this debt thing that seems so pressing. Now it seems like all hope of doing that has been suspended, maybe not squashed, but just it's not gonna happen right now because now I don't have a job. And it's really tough because the choices are do I just go back to teaching? I mean, I left teaching for a reason, so I don't want to just go back to something that I left for a reason. Do I continue in this education direction? What step do I take? Do I finish my master's in administration degree because I'm a year into that? So there's a lot of directions I could go in the education because I've got the training. But I feel like I'm at this moment where I don't have to do that. It's I've been kicked out, and I can either fight my way back in or I can just stay out and go do something else. And the question is, do I want to do something else? So I did some thinking, a lot of thinking. This just sounds crazy. It's crazy to admit. It's crazy to say out loud. So I think I'm gonna go into ceramics and be a potter and be an artist and sell my goods and maybe work with children in art too, but my way, not in a school with a structure that I'd have to kind of work within. I just have this vision of bringing a lot of joy to people, but also getting a lot of joy out of what I'm doing. When I was a little kid, I used to walk around art festivals and see people selling the things that they made, and I wanted to be that person. But to be honest, my mother pretty much told me I would not be successful doing that. And so I took that as truth. because you would think that your mother would be the person that would know you the most out of anybody. But I didn't really realize that either, that thought that I felt that way came from an external source. Like, I thought that was a conclusion that I had come to, not one that had been like told to me and impressed on me. So now, though it sounds insane for me to say, I think like I'm gonna like have like a pottery shop, and I'm gonna sell my goods and do things to support the community with arts, live my truth. I'll keep you posted on how it goes. Okay, so let me show you some of the things that I've been working on. Lots of ceramics, learn as much as I can about how to hand build while I don't have a wheel. There's a class coming up in March that I signed up for, keeping up with this tutoring gig that I got going on Monday through Thursdays, which is great because it leaves Fridays open for me to be 100% creative and not just be my day, because people are off working and they're busy and I'm just left to my own devices. Like 2 days after I was let go, I was contacted by somebody at care.com. I've been on care.com for months. I've never heard from anyone, and someone reached out to me to tutor their grandson. So now I have like a part-time tutoring gig. I got to totally pick my hours. Most of it is virtual, and so that'll bring in some extra money for March. And then I also have a little severance pay that'll help, and I filed my taxes, so I'll get those back. Also, I filed for unemployment, so hopefully that'll get processed soon. I already know how much I'll be getting per week, but it has to be like verified. My severance pay has to be verified, and it says the reason why I lost my job has to be verified. I want to know, do you have like a secret passion that you wish you could do, but like you feel like you can't? Mine to be an artist and sell my creations is a dream that I've had that I always thought I couldn't do. I've also kind of always wanted to be an astronaut or like a physicist, but I just don't think that way. But do think creatively, so maybe I can do this. But what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do at your core? I see like all these Black History Month women talking about their businesses they started and their successes, and how you gotta find like your gift and your contribution and give it to the world. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. But when I hear that stuff, it really feels inspiring, and I feel like they're talking to me. It's so weird. So basically how I'm feeling is like super nervous, super fearful, also like really excited, and I'm anticipating like things starting. I think it's going to be a really interesting month of March. Credit card payments, grocery and toiletries, utilities, travel, shopping, entertainment, and everyday life, which talks about pets, auto, gas, and maintenance, gifts, donations.
Let's take a look at all the expenses and see if I went over budget. So I'm going to add up all of my categories. $3,757.44. subtract that from my budget of $4,929, and I get my leftovers, which is pretty good, I'd say, for this month.
I overspent on grocery and toiletries by about $45, and I overspent in the self-care, entertainment, shopping area by about $26. Other than that, I stayed pretty well within my budget. Like, I had to shift some money from like some buckets to a different bucket, but that's fine because I had it to shift. I didn't stay in my budget, but I also didn't outrageously spend either, so pat on my back to myself for that one. My goal was to save $300. What I decided to do instead of save it was take my credit card bill like down to zero. So I just spent all my extra money towards paying my credit card debt completely off. So now I can actually say that my American Express card is down to zero. Oh, and in case you want to know, this shirt is from an organization called We Go High, North Carolina. So you should definitely check them out on Instagram at We Go High NC and see what they're all about.
Thanks for watching Winching My Finances with me, Erica Rose. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. And if you want to come with me on my journey, please subscribe.